Welcome back to my channel. It's Nikki of Nikki's Homemade Crafts, and today you're going to learn the differences between yarn weight and hook sizes, all using the exact same pattern. So yup, I made all of these different squares using DK, worsted, and bulky yarn using 3, 4, or 5 millimeter crochet hooks. And then I measured it all and I have the results ready for you so you don't have to wait. I have them all here in this video, as well as the link down below in the description. So if you need a summary of this video, see the link down below in the description. And I use linked crochet for that. So if you're interested in linked crochet and want to know more about this or learn how to make this square, and maybe even learn using the join as you go method to make a big blanket, all the links are down below in the description for that. Now let's get ready for this experiment. Let's talk about it in more detail. So we have here my very popular linked crochet daisy square that I used in order to make a blanket. And the blanket is connected, all the squares are connected with the join as you go. Now, I do want to talk about what happens if you change your yarn weight or hook size for this specific pattern. This analysis would apply for pretty much anything else. I just want you to see what happens once you change it. But I'm going to make it as an experiment here where you can see what happens if I want to keep the square the exact same size, but I want to go up or down in yarn weight, or what kind of hook do I need to use in order to create the exact same measurements. So let's do this, okay? So I have here all the squares aligned. All of these are done in a 3 millimeter, the top row. Then we have the 4 millimeter, all of these are done in a 4 millimeter, and then we have the 5 millimeter, all of these are done in a 5 millimeter hook, okay? Now, all of these right here in this column are made in DK yarn, all of these are made in worsted yarn, and all of these are made in bulky yarn. So I didn't have the same colors for the green, so I just changed it up a little bit, but it allows you to see the difference as well. So again, DK, worsted, and bulky, 3, 4, and 5 millimeter hooks, okay? So the fun thing is that some of these squares are actually identical to each other in terms of the measurements. So for example, I'm gonna just show you here with my measuring tape. By the way, this has my brand on it. I love it so much. So this one is 4 inches in each direction. It's a square, so obviously I have not blocked any of them. So I wanted you to see the unblocked version of these squares, because sometimes that can be a little bit more helpful, because as you are crocheting, you want to know which one is the exact same size as another, okay? So as I said, this one is 4 inches. Okay, so let's see. This one is 3.5 inches, and then this one is about 3 inches. Now let's check this one. This one is 4 inches. Okay, this is the exact same measurement as this one. Okay, so let's analyze this for a second. If you are using a 5 millimeter hook with DK yarn, okay, you're going to get the same measurement as using a 3 millimeter hook with worsted yarn. That's pretty cool. So let's say your square is supposed to be let's say it's supposed to be this one, okay? Let's say you're supposed to use a 3 millimeter hook and it's supposed to be worsted yarn. Which yarn and hook size can you use in order to get exact same measurements? It would be DK with a 5 millimeter hook. This is with my tension with my arms, okay? I made all of these, so ideally you want to make sure they're all done by the same person, right? But there is obviously some differences. I'm not talking about the colors here, but if you are looking closely, this one is very malleable, right? It has a lot of movement in it because it's a DK weight, but done in a 5 millimeter hook, okay? So it's very, very moving. You can move it around. It's very soft, right? Like there's no toughness to it. Now this, you can automatically see, like just holding this, right? This one is more floppy. This one's very stiff. okay? Because obviously it is made with a 3mm hook and worsted yarn, okay? So there's a lot less movement here. You can tell already, right? Do you see that? It's a lot less movement, okay? Now, obviously that means that the texture of the fabric will change, right? But the measurement is the same. So I'm just focusing on that right now. You do want to keep that in mind though, that the texture will change, right? This is thinner, right? This is more softer because you made it with a bigger hook, but the measurements of these two are the exact same size. Now let's see what else do we have. Let's see what other squares seem to be matching with each other, okay? Let's check out the middle one right here. This one is about a 4.5mm. This one is close to 3.75 roughly. Okay, this guy right here. And then up here, this one again is a 4.5. Okay, so that means these two are the exact same size. So let's talk about that. Okay, so that means this guy is a worsted yarn right here in the middle, the center, made with a 4mm hook. But if I wanted to have the exact same measurement and I don't have the yarn or something available, then I could go up to a bulky yarn with a 3mm hook and I would get the exact same measurement. Now, the same is true what we did earlier, right? This one, nice and moving. This one, it's very tough. It's very tough. I don't know if you can see it. You can move it, right? But there's definitely not a lot of movement. So if I'm doing this versus this, so you can see I get closer on this one, right? So this is a lot more moving than this one up here, right? Because it uses a smaller hook size, but a bigger yarn weight, okay? But they're still the same. These two are the same, which also means, you probably see me do it, this one and this one are the same, okay? So this one, again, 4.75, and this one also 4.75. So these two are also the same. Okay, so this one is a 5mm hook with worsted. This one is a 4mm hook with bulky yarn. So these two are also the same. So if I would go down, so probably if I measure this guy right here, okay, this one is about a little over 5 inches, you know, like almost 5.25 inches. Okay, if I now go one more down here in this direction, so worsted in a, let's say 6mm, okay, then this would match this guy. So 6mm in worsted would be the same as a bulky and 5mm. So this is pretty cool. This is very interesting, right? So you can see now the differences using the exact same pattern for the entire experiment here. You can see that some of the DK yarns can also be replaced with worsted yarn, right, with a obviously smaller hook size. And the same is true going in the direction of worsted to bulky, but you can tell that there is a almost like there's a 2-inch difference here. So let me say that a little bit differently. We have a 5mm here for the DK, but it requires a 3mm. So that's 2mm difference, okay? And then using a worsted. So going up from DK to worsted, you will need 2mm less in a hook size. But going from worsted to bulky, there's only a 1mm difference. So for example, this guy right here was a 4mm hook in worsted, has the same measurement as a 3mm in bulky. So the difference here is just 1mm in hook size. Same is true here, right? 1mm in hook size. But from DK to worsted, it is 2mm in hook size difference and 1 yarn weight difference. So it's very interesting. So obviously I didn't go further here. Like I could have done also like sport and fingering weight. I could have done jumbo. I just focused on the ones that, you know, most people would use for a blanket in this case, or a granny square. So typically they're used in DK, worsted, or bulky yarn. So that's what I was focusing on. And I just wanted to show you the difference. I want to know how helpful this was for you. What? Whoa, you learned how to substitute your yarn using the exact same pattern. I hope this was helpful for you. Are you going to try this little square? This one is a really fun one. I really enjoy this Daisy linked crochet granny square. Anyways, leave us a comment down below. Did you learn something new in this video that you might be able to use in the future when you're going to crochet different granny squares or different patterns? Leave your thoughts down below. We would love to know. Let's chat as a community. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the bell to get a notification next time I publish a video or go live. And don't forget to watch the next video. I'm sure you want to. It's one of mine. You're probably going to learn something new. So I'll see you in that video. Bye.